This past week's Nintendo Direct drops a couple of deadly demonic bombshells. We're talking about the future of Final Fantasy 15, as well as some new stuff coming to Heroes of the Storm. I don't know what the game's called, from Overwatch. This has been a crazy month for sales. We're talking about all of that and more on our Twitch debut of Inventory Full.
Welcome to Popcorn Talk, featuring movie discussion, news, and interviews. Popcorn Talk. We talk movies.
We're coming in on Doom for very obvious reasons, and we're going to be coming in on Doom for every single week as it happens.
Period. Forever.
Forever.
This is what we're doing. This is the soundtrack of Inventory PT. I can get behind this. This is a video game.
Right now, you're living a video game. Welcome to Inventory Full. Folks on YouTube, folks on Twitch. I'm one of your hosts, and it's Mark Donica. You can find me on Twitter at Mark Donica. Not alone. We don't have the full squad today. Unfortunately, our good friend Nate is not here this week, but he will be back next week. Not for our Destiny story talk, which we're going to be having on Wednesday. More on that later. But joining me, Stacey Shuttleworth.
Hey guys, I'm Stacey Shuttleworth. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch at Stacey Shuttles.
With the Twitch in there because we can. Patrick.
Oh, hi, Mark. It's what I know. I'm sorry, I couldn't.
Been a minute.
It has been a minute. Have you guys seen The Room? Can we talk about The Room later? No.
Oh God.
If you haven't seen The Room at home, go watch that. Hey guys, I'm Patrick Dees. You can find me at Peter the Dees on Twitter. Also on your console of choice, you can find me at Truly Slide. And I was not inferring that we are living in a video game right now, just to be clear. I was saying, like, it is a video game, hence we can talk about it every week and come into Doom every week. I just want to make sure that, I'm still coherent. Like, I haven't lost that we're not in a video game right now. Or
No, you might not be coherent. Who knows?
Okay, fair enough.
But
or are you?
Welcome to Inventory Full. This is a show where we talk about gamer culture and our own sick, twisted Doom fantasies. Maybe not that last one. Maybe just this week. We talk about gaming news and culture and things of that nature. We used to, and I only bring this up because of the show that we used to be. We used to be a show where we talked about video game movies.
Yep.
And we're going to be talking about an upcoming video game movie later in the show. But let's get started. My favorite story of this past week was the Nintendo Direct. They've been killing these Nintendo Directs ever since they started doing it, and we got sort of a tease of what's going to be taking us through the end of 2017 and into 2018.
Yep.
There were some big surprises of those. Minecraft for the 3DS, which at this point, I don't know if we need it because we have it on the Switch, and it's like a good console version, and the 3DS version looks like absolute garbage, and I'm just saying that as a fan of Minecraft. But hey, kids who don't have it on their parents' cell phones now have it on their 3DS. Mario Party, the top 100 mini-games, is in one major collection. That's awesome. That's super cool. But I think the biggest news to come out of the Nintendo Direct was, one, Wolfenstein 2 is going to be coming out for the Switch, and Doom.
Yeah.
Bethesda is tripling down on the Switch.
I know. Skyrim, right, is the other one, right?
Skyrim's coming out November 17th.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Wolfenstein's not day and date, right? That just said 2018.
It's later.
No footage at all. And then we showed a small teaser clip of Doom. Is that accurate? Am I missing anything? Okay.
And Doom isn't, as of right now, it is not going to be getting the snap map feature. You're going to have to download.
Oh shit! Then I am absolutely out.
But you're gonna
no one anywhere. Sorry.
But that's like the user generated.
I know. I get it.
I think it's something that can come to the Switch at some point. But if you're going to be asking your users to download multiplayer in order to use it, that's going to take up a lot of extra bandwidth in order to get that feature as well. Either way, semi-fully featured Doom. It's still Doom. Doom is one of the best games last year. I mean, fight me. IRL.
No, same page. Yeah, like we were very high on this all year long.
Can't believe you got to see that perform live. I still, you're just a piece of garbage.
Thank you, Game Awards, Jeff Keighley.
But was there anything from the Nintendo one that, the Nintendo side that, I mean, there wasn't a lot, but some cool stuff?
I think those are really cool because to me that seems to be emblematic of the mythical third-party support that Nintendo platforms have always said that they would get, and they're actually looking to get. Like, whatever, we know that the sales are meteoric on the Switch. I'm not surprised that they're supporting it, but Bethesda, of all people, like I would have bet you we'd see some early Ubisoft joints because they have a pattern of getting out in front of and releasing new IPs on different platforms. They've always been there at launch with some things.
Well, technically, I mean, with the Mario Rabbids.
Sure.
That's doing gangbusters right now, but we don't have any numbers on that because it was released on the 29th.
Yeah.
So there's no firm numbers yet.
But you're excited, like genuinely excited about Doom, and
Look, one of the things that caused me to not be able to play Doom like right away was I was always going here, there, the other place, this, that, the other place. But if I had an extra hour at this one place, if I was on break and I had Doom in my proverbial pocket, and I could walk around and play it, hell yeah!
Totally.
And I'm not a people poo-poo like, oh, I'm gonna have to buy the game again.
Nope.
If it's a good game and you love it, you'll buy it as many. Like I said last week, I'm already prepared that I'm going to be buying Destiny several times.
Yep.
And thanks to you and your hubbo, I have Overwatch twice and might even get it a third time once it goes on sale on PlayStation, just because of the people that you want to play with. But Doom is such an iconic single player. I barely even touched the multiplayer, but the single player was so much fun. Hell yeah, that adds to my ever-growing list of why I need a Switch in my life.
I'm way more into it than I would be about Skyrim. Don't get me wrong, huge Skyrim fan, but like I also think that that's a game that benefits from huge play chunks. You can't play Skyrim at 30-minute intervals, whereas you can pick up Doom, get that adrenaline rush in like 15 minutes. Like hell yeah, I ripped off some demon arms, and then my stop on the subway shows up. I put it back in that proverbial pocket,
bag of holding,
and then I'm on to the next thing. So for me, I don't know, like I think that was pretty great, and I actually really like, for what it's worth, Wolfenstein. I think that game, the first one was really slept on. The second one's coming out at a really challenging time. It's coming out this year against Assassin's Creed, against the new Mario. Like, I don't want people to sleep on this, but I think it gives people a chance to maybe play an even more pared down version of the game. But I'm excited that they're getting it out there.
And especially the fact that it's not day and date with the regular consoles. By putting it out on Switch, that gives it its own pedestal on its own platform.
Totally.
And people could, I mean, while Nintendo is 100% a Mario platform, that could people go, oh no, Wolfenstein is a Switch thing.
Right.
Doom is a Switch thing because I got to play it on Switch.
So I want people to experience it, but I'm kind of torn because like this is also a thing that I don't want to experience personally on a small screen. Like Wolfenstein is very narratively driven, unlike Doom, which Doom was all about the action, some of the most amazing mechanics in a game,
and in your face.
Memory, totally, yes,
super in your face.
Wolfenstein was very, and I know this sounds weird to say, but very narratively driven. Some incredibly memorable characters. They handled some very sensitive subjects very deftly in the last one, and so like, and also for me, like for first-person shooters, I kind of want that. Like, I won't buy Battlefront this year on a Switch, like if it were coming to that. Like, I want that big bombastic, in my face, full screen,
4K, Xbox One X, PlayStation Pro,
100%. And so like, so while I'm excited, it's not going to be where I choose to ingest this, but like again, I'm glad people are playing it.
Yeah. Speaking of high def experiences. One of the biggest experiences of the past full year, 365-day year, Final Fantasy 15, and now we're getting to a point where it's coming up. It's coming up.
This thing.
They're looking forward to their PC release. It's going to be running at a native 4K 60 FPS, which I mean, the game was beautiful already.
Yeah, it really was.
This is going to be even more gorgeous. And there was a wonderful interview with Hajime Tabata on GameSpot. And Stacey, what are some of the things from the article that Tabata-san was saying that you were looking forward to, and just some of your favorite things?
I mean, he kind of touched on how they're still constantly looking to update the game, but with this PC release, they're kind of hitting a point of where this is the game. So they're still working on the huge multiplayer aspect. Yeah, so we're getting the multiplayer. I
can't believe that's a thing.
He mentions in the interview that it's going to take place in the 10 years that we don't get in the game.
Okay.
Which I hadn't known before, so that was
great. I missed that, Jim. I thought I read that article. And I'm glad I still missed that.
I thought that was really interesting. So if that's what it ends up being, and then
fantastic. Yes. Sorry, it's such a weird game. Go ahead.
It really is. Yeah. But it's all about like bringing you into that world, which is something that Final Fantasy 15 really did. I mean, it brought you into that world. There were things that we can complain about for days.
And have.
And absolutely have.
Go back and
but it absolutely sucks you into that world. You are a part of that world. And so everything that they're doing is kind of looking to continue with that. And so it being on PC is not only going to be, an even more beautiful experience, but also they asked about the ability to mod the game.
Okay.
It's going to be available.
All right.
Let's see exactly what they said here, because I put it here.
Dicks everywhere. Just
We hope that people take care of it in good taste.
Okay, sure.
It's not
Depending
gonna
on how
happen,
that
but
turns
boy.
out,
Yeah.
depending on how that turns out is actually going to determine what kind of tool sets we end up providing for the community.
Right.
They
We'll be
seem very
hands off
willing.
and just see what happens. What content that comes from PC mods, it's there for the players to use. We'll be keeping an eye on the Steam Workshop
Got
page.
a pretty good idea about what's going to
Oh,
be.
I know exactly what to expect
Yeah.
coming onto the PC mods.
100%.
No delusions there.
Dude,
God,
like, so
no.
let me ask you as a huge, so you and I've had plenty of conversation around this, Stacey, like about, I got weirdly sucked into this game. I don't consider myself a fan, but I probably spent like 80 hours playing this game. It's weird. At what point though, like, do you want them to stop investing resources in 15 and move on to what will inevitably be 16 or whatever the next thing is, right? Because they've continued to, we're getting little dribbles out here, but not like meaningful progress toward another game, at least that we know of. So what are you?
Right. I'm super torn on it because I do think there's a lot more to explore in that world, and
Yep.
there's a lot they can continue to expand upon. And you know, they've put out surveys where like, what would you want to hear more about? And it's all these side characters, and you're like, yeah, I want to give me all of that. That
Yes.
sounds great. But also, you hit a point that story has been told.
Yeah.
As it stands, that is a complete wrapped up package. You may have issues with the way that they did it, but it was wrapped up. It was done.
Okay.
It was a complete story. So that's a world that I would love to play in for endless hours, and I have until I ran out of things to do. Like literally, the only reason
Grasping
I have
at Final
stopped
Fantasy straws.
playing it.
Did you do the Assassin's Creed stuff? I don't know. We ever
I
circled back? Did you play that?
do all of
And
the Assassin's Creed
Was
stuff.
it fun? And was it sizable?
Cute. It was. I mean, it was a couple hours at best.
Okay.
Very short little main story. It was a nice little story. The climbing mechanic. I don't know. It was fun.
back of the
They
box
brought-
quote. It was a nice little story.
They brought back
It was
one
so
of the
nice.
villains that you see early on in the game.
This was a nice assassin.
He's the nice boy.
A nice.
Okay, them
So
fanboying
sweet.
over Assassin's Creed, that was pretty
Okay,
great.
all right, I
so
can
they
see
treated
that.
it because they treated it as a game in universe.
Pretty true to life.
Yeah, so
Excellent.
it was like, yeah, that's how I feel about Assassin's Creed too.
Alright.
I totally get this. You go on a little adventure. The climbing, so one of Final Fantasy, they're open, when they get into the cities, their open world hugely diminishes.
Yeah.
And it's still, even when you can climb up on the rooftops, it's still fairly limited as to what you can do. So you get more to explore, but there's still a limit to it. So
Fair
it's, you got a couple hours out of it.
Okay.
I think, if anything, nothing is stopping them from doing the same thing they did with Final Fantasy 13 of Final Fantasy 15 2, Final Fantasy
Sure,
15
sure,
3,
Mm-hmm.
where we go years in the future and it's the kid, the son of the royal couple or something of that nature. I don't know. This is also coming from somebody who hasn't played a lick of the game. anyway.
but great.
Please tell me
yeah,
how
I
you
know.
think
Yeah,
this game
yeah.
ends.
Go
Because,
on.
Luna Freya survives. Anyway.
But that's the one thing they really did do well in this game was really develop those four, and to a lesser degree, Luna Freya. Like I would be really interested in her own side story, but like, but I would be interested to see where they end up and where their kids end up. Like, so part of me is like, I think that sounds actually really appealing. It's like, what's next in their lives?
Let's move on because Final Fantasy 15 is one of those franchises that we talk about fairly frequently here.
Sure.
And don't worry, there's another one of those franchises that we'll be talking about in just a moment.
What's
but
that?
we'll get there.
Nice.
Well, Nate's not here, so not PUBG.
Great. Okay.
But next week, because there was a very interesting development in one of our engineers' favorite games that turned it into PUBG, and we'll talk about that next week.
Great.
But there is a hidden copy of the NES's Golf on every Switch, but the most interesting thing is it's really hard to access, but it's being used by an emulator.
Yeah.
So the idea that there is emulator software on the Switch is cluing people into the fact that maybe there's more to what the Switch can do and what Nintendo has for retro stuff on the Switch.
Sure.
But who knows?
Yep.
We're gonna find out.
Don't know much yet.
I just want to play more of NES's Golf. All right. Now we have a trailer for this next story. Not that one, the other one. Not that one, the other one. Thank you. So Blizzard doesn't stop giving fans what they want,
Nope.
it seems. Let's check out this trailer for the latest update for Heart of the Storm. Heroes of the Storm. Heart of the Storm. Heart of the Swarm.
Hots.
Yeah, but Heart of the Swarm is a StarCraft thing. All right. So first of all, we've got a new map, Volskaya. which is from Overwatch.
Combat operations.
Yes, it is.
That's our girl Ana.
Yep.
So Ana's going to be joining it. That, if you can't tell, was Diva.
Was it?
Yeah,
I didn't even catch it.
Hold on, I have a close-up shot of Stacey's fever dream
Dude,
coming up.
tell me about it.
But we also got Junkrat joining the fray.
Which I'm super excited about.
Yo, so Stacey and I, we only play Heroes of the Storm when it comes to like, hey, Overwatch event, you can get loot boxes and
Get
skins
you
and
skin
stuff.
if you play this. Okay.
Yeah, but now there's a new game mode involving the giant robot mechs that we've seen in Overwatch lore.
Yep.
On board.
And summoning them to take out the forgot what the flipping thing is. Whatever. We don't play it enough. But
You're not a MOBA guy?
Sorry.
no, like every once in a while.
Ganking.
So
They're
I will
all
say,
ganks.
dude, Junkrat
Are they jungling?
100% makes me more interested because Lucio, Zarya, and Junkrat are three of my favorite Overwatch characters, and being able to play as them in a different avenue,
Yeah, sure.
is super appealing. So Junkrat being my main, I want to have some fun
Yep.
Overwatch character. Yeah, I think I might play more Heroes of the Storm. But that first picture, if you would bring it up, Steve, is of Diva's Deathwing mech alt that is going to be just for Heroes of the Storm.
God damn.
But
Hey.
okay, first of all, this exists now. Second of all, cosplayers, hi Stacey, are going to be looking at this and going, I need to become this demon child. That's all. Like that. Why isn't that skin in
Do you
Overwatch?
see
That
how
is
many
really
tiers
legit.
that skin is for cosplayers?
Oh yeah,
That's a lot.
yeah,
That
no
is
kidding.
just. That is. I mean, you
It's
hate yourself.
Cosplayers
a lot.
looking at that, going, "What have you done? I need to
I'm
make
gonna
that
cry
now."
for 5 weeks straight as I suffer over this and burn
Hand
my
sewing.
fingers, destroy my life making this
Now,
costume.
what is
but
the
it's gonna
strategy
be
going? Do you
done.
hire your bigger friend to play the mech, and then you're on the side of it as you walk along, or like how do you even approach that?
I mean, you know, the more
is that?
discerning diva cosplayers, you got a cardboard box and you are good to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
No, it's
Learning the
people
tricks.
have built full walking mechs.
Don't doubt that.
Unbelievable things. They are absolutely beautiful.
To which Blizzard went, challenge accepted.
Oh yeah. Good luck with this.
Dude, that's really, really rad.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I like how new character or two new characters, new Overwatch map, which is the first Overwatch map in Heroes of the Storm. But it was this.
Yeah.
It was this where people went, "Holy crap!
Yeah,
did you
yeah.
see that?"
Yep.
So I
On
think
board.
I would be very surprised if, with all of, at least for the PC, well, no, they got to do it for everything. If we get more crossover skins from everybody, and they got to start showing up in Overwatch.
Oh, I hope
Like,
so.
if I would love for a future Overwatch event to be a crossover, just a Blizzard event,
Yeah.
which means we could get possibly Destiny skins, we could get more World of Warcraft skins, which means we could get StarCraft skins, etc., etc. Hearthstone skins, why not? Who knows? But yeah.
And look, I think this is really smart too, because I think they've done a good job of getting out ahead of or being top of mind with their fan base, right? Because PUBG continues this meteoric rise, and I gotta believe in a Venn diagram of interest, there's a huge overlap, right? Like, and so I don't know to what extent they're pulling from that fan base, but I gotta imagine there's gonna be people who, like, when Overwatch was the new hotness, they have migrated to PUBG. I for one am a lapsed player. Like, I haven't played any meaningful time 6-7 months, right? So but would be playing PUBG if
I play when there's an update. Summer Games is probably my favorite. Well, actually no, because the Halloween event's really fun too. But
And it's coming.
and it's coming back. But because I love Lucio Ball. But I'm iterative when it comes to Overwatch, but it's always there. It's always going to be there.
Great.
And with Heroes of the Storm, that was the smartest thing to do because we have all these franchises. Why don't we just mash them together? And of course make a MOBA out of it. But the fact that Stacey and I got into the game because it was through Overwatch.
Yep.
Now there are people who have gone through Heroes of the Storm through
Sure, yeah,
any
of course.
any of the
Of
other
course.
Blizzard franchises. Now, I think the most landmark thing is if we see Titan Warlock Hunter or Zavala or Cade Six or any of the characters now from Destiny Universe coming into Heroes of the Storm.
I would take a Cade 6 voice pack for almost anything.
Well,
I
that's
just want him narrating everything.
But that's
I
one of
know.
the things is, especially with Heroes of the Storm being free to play,
Yeah.
and you can unlock any character that you want. And usually when it is those special edition characters, it's
Right.
like, you can get them for real cheap or for free if you join now. And then, boom, you need patches to get yourself out of the addiction. But I'm excited for this. This might get me to play on a non-special reason, for a non-Overwatch related reason.
I want to hear about it. I've never been able to get into the whole MOBA experience, and
Still
so I'm
working
really
on it.
interested to hear your takes.
Still working on it.
All right.
It's very hit or miss with me
Sure.
still. Like some games can be real fun.
How is that community as like, because again I hear like just how toxic the League community is, and to some degree impenetrable the Dota community is. Like, how is the Heroes of the Storm? Do you know?
Well, when we were playing, it was usually people who were pretty
alright.
friendly, people that weren't like leaving games if we were losing.
Yeah.
It was.
I mean, to be fair, it
many-
was inundated at that point with people from Overwatch who were coming over
okay,
to
fair
get
enough.
the skin. So there were, I mean, you could see there were people like in the global chat like, oh, we just want people who want to rush the games so that we
Yep.
can get the skins or
Yeah.
hit our goal. They don't have a hugely inclusive chat feature when you're in game, so it's not like people are really yelling
It's also
insults
difficult
at each
because
other.
you're rocking your keyboard, so it's hard to be like, no, I need to be continuously,
Right.
I need to continuously move and continuously this. So going like help or like something takes a lot. So you need to
doesn't
find a
slow
safe
people
corner.
down for like typing homophobic slurs though. For some reason, I don't know why. In so many games.
Overwatch,
We don't know why
no.
either.
Yeah, I don't
No.
know. I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna give it a try. All right, Patrick.
Yes, sir.
One of my favorite things is like we go, oh, cool, shiny new Overwatch characters, but you like talking about the business. And,
Yeah, I
and it's
do.
very important.
I do.
And this August was a huge month for a variety of reasons. One of which the fact that Grand Theft Auto 5,
can't.
which came out in 2013,
Correct.
it's 4 years later.
Yes.
Is still not in the top 20.
Nope.
Not in the top 10. In the top 5, top 2.
Top two, number 2 in MPDs. Number 2.
Which is insane.
And set a record too of the 49 months that it's been out. It's charted top 10 in 42 of those 49, right?
I thought it was 41.
41 or 42 of those.
What I saw.
Insane. And as far as this is, and it goes back to trackable, right? Because there are there are a few disputes out there around like really tracking, like authentically tracking Tetris sales. But as far as we've been tracking, right, based through MPD, this is the best-selling game of all time.
Yeah.
I bought it twice.
Tetris is super hard to track because
totally, right.
there's so many different versions on so many different platforms.
Right.
Does a free download of it on your iPod count as a sale?
Totally, but they're calling this units and total revenue generated. It's orders of magnitude better than any other game in the history of games, dude. And it's great. And little inside baseball, I actually unloaded stock before this game come out, so please shoot me in the face. But
You
didn't.
no,
I did.
What
I
the
thought,
hell
I
is
thought
what?
I thought it
Before
was over.
a Grand Theft
I know,
Auto game?
I know. I bought right before 4. Anyway, this is don't take stock tips from me, especially when it comes to gaming.
Buy it. Of course.
Yeah. Like, and I will always be like upfront on this program around like what I actually own stocks in. But yes, it was
that a game differently of itself.
Yes, but it's one of those games that I bought twice, right? Like I bought it on the 360, I played it again on this current gen, and online keeps rolling. Online just keeps anyway.
Their strategy for releasing, whether it's a whole new type of gameplay
Yeah.
or even just a pack for a previously released one, and people spend hundreds of real money,
know.
not GTA money. People are like, oh, that mobile command center, I need it. How much? 80 million? Sure, I'll drop $100.
Sure. Well, did you see the story? Like things get really crazy. The weird metagames that exist within GTA Online right now. I don't know if you saw this Kotaku story from a couple weeks ago, but people in the community are getting really upset because if you remember the state, do you remember the map? Right, like if you go up north, it was more rural. It was where Trevor lived, so you could actually find nice, quiet real estate that you could buy out there, and it was actually. Not a lot of gang activity was going on. All the battles were happening in the southern half of the map. But as people were looking for new experiences, they brought their shit up north. And people who owned real estate that they bought with real world money were really upset in the forums, like, take your shit back south. And it was like, wait, what is this game? What are we doing? Like legit complaints. People who just wanted to like go golfing or bowling or own their property. And to me, it's this weird like. So many people, NoClip did a whole documentary or releasing one on a biker gang who exists inside of this world. There's all these little pocket communities that exist, and I guess when you've sold 90 million units, that can be a thing. But like, there are people who just log in daily and then go hang out with their friends and like again go play 9 holes of golf. right? Like, or go
Well,
do one of the millions of experiences in this, and it blows my mind, and it makes me wonder what they're going to be doing with Red Dead. Right, like to what degree this has to be a model going forward for these guys. This prints money. So what is
games as a service, man?
What do cowboy heists look like? Like what does this look like in the Red Dead?
Trains,
it's exciting.
Saloons.
Sign me up.
Like it also depends on doing. Okay, so this is
wheels are turning.
This is probably roughly 15 to 20 years after the end of the story events of Red Dead Redemption.
No, I don't know that we know.
But isn't it Jack? Isn't it Jack as an adult?
I've heard prequel stuff that it was John when he was a piece of shit.
Oh.
Yeah, that it was when he was...
So it's Revolver again?
I don't know. But like whatever, they've shown outlines of him, whatever. I've heard a lot of speculation that this is all prequel.
Because, so if this is more modern, that opens you up to more variety because you get the old world and the new world at the same time.
Totally agree.
But
and this is all rumor and speculation. We've seen one commercial or two commercials that they've even aired and a handful of screenshots when they delayed it.
A very
Those
important
revolvers
question.
looked really good.
What does cunning stunts look like in Red Dead Redemption?
Just horse stunts sounds amazing.
Like rocking horses?
Triple flips. Yes. Sign me up. I'd spend real world money on a rocket horse.
Dude,
sign me up.
Train races,
yes.
like loops.
Just for the novelty of it.
Just yes.
See, but that's
a stunt horse.
That's the thing
fantastic.
that's the thing that Red Dead cannot possibly match GTA 5 in, which is how ridiculous it is.
Horses are nature's cars. Like,
yeah,
I've
but they
always
only
said
have
that.
1 horsepower.
Also, excellent point. I can't come
Unless
back
you
from that.
attach rockets
I
to
can't.
them.
Or more horses.
What are its stats? I 1.
1
it has
horsepower.
1.
Ultimately, single horsepower. But that's the thing. It's like you look at something like Cunning Stunts and all of the crazy weapon mods.
Great title, by the way.
Yeah.
Cunning Stunt, genius. Yes. Sorry. Go ahead.
Get it? But
yeah.
but then also the vehicle types of they put kit into the
know
game.
they have.
You can jump and have a parachute. There's a rocket car.
I literally think if you no matter
There's a jet bike.
Name anything, and if you told me it was in there, I probably wouldn't fight you very long. Like,
Okay.
sure.
I logged in during
Right,
4th
we
of
should-
July to get the like I have it on PS.
Let's play.
No, I do have it on PS4, and but one of my biggest issues is it messed up my character. I haven't been able to import my character at all from PS3, which really sucks. But I log in 4th of July so I can get more ammo for my firework rockets.
So like, but like, you could go down a list of IPs and you could just go true or false in the game. You'd be like Sharknado. I'd be like, true? I don't know.
well, that-
probably.
Yeah,
right?
no.
Like
There is a Sharknado mod
just
on PC.
Just name it. I'm sure it's in the game. So yeah. Speaking of mods, the mods are cool. Anyway, I think it's awesome and it excites me. And again, I get it. Like they've got unlimited. That's what happens when you have unlimited resources, time, and money. You get this excellent game that continues to live on. But like, who would have expected that GTA 5 all time number 2 best-selling game last month? It's 4 years
It's
old.
still going.
Totally.
Well, I think that's also
It's not even slowing down.
the YouTube community, the Let's Play
agree.
community,
Yes.
showing what the options truly are. I think also as the paywalls go down in terms of accessibility,
Yep.
it's easier to get more powerful computers cheaper.
Yep.
So now people who may have had it on PS3, may have had an Xbox 360, maybe not gotten it for PS4, Xbox One, picking it up on PC.
Yep.
And then you have different groups of friends. You have a gang that you play with on Xbox One. You have a gang that you play with on PC.
I just love it. I love it, and I love
so
that
much
this
fun.
has afforded them all of the time in the world to make a really sick Red Dead.
And you know what I do when I play Grand Theft Auto 5?
What do you do?
I just drive.
Is that true?
I get it like, oh, that's a nice car. Throw a guy out of it, and I have a new car.
Yeah, and you just take
And
your
I
time.
just
put
I
on the
drive up
radio.
to Trevor's Airfield,
Great.
listen to the radio.
Dude,
nice time.
my favorite thing about that game is like legit being in Los Angeles, that it's incredibly easy to navigate. You don't really need the map because you
You
kind of
don't think
generally
about it.
know
Yeah.
north and south and where to go. You're like, I'll get there. I live here.
You can get there.
Anyway, I was amazed by that that it continues. It's not even that it's continued to sell well, that it's not even slowing down. I think
Yeah.
it's like the 4th best-selling game this year. Hard stop. Where is it on the top 10?
It's number 3
Of the year.
of the year. So speaking of that, so let's talk about this a little bit because this surprised me. Top 10 selling games of 2017 so far in the U.S. alone.
Yeah.
Number 10, Resident Evil 7. Not that surprised.
Nope.
NBA 2K17, which is a little surprising because that came out really late last year,
Nah,
and then really came through at the beginning of the year.
It sells that sells well consistently. It charts regularly.
And I think also because once the season ends, people go, "Oh, I need more basketball."
Totally.
When it starts and when it stops. A little surprising, Madden 18, that just came out.
Yeah.
And it's one of the best-selling games of the year already.
Yep. But again, that has less of a tail, right? That has an incredible spike if you watch the tails on those, and then literally falls off a map. Totally.
Because then
people who buy that in that first week.
And
that's it.
Yeah,
And that is that community. And that can, but again, they don't need that long tail because they've got that Madden Ultimate team, right? So they've got different revenue centers inside that game. They don't need it, but it's just, that doesn't surprise me.
Their version of New Game Plus. Oh, but also this was the year that where Madden 18 had that story mode. Still interesting to play. Maybe it'll come down for Black Friday, get maybe like $20 or something, play through, and that'll be that.
Kinda into it.
Mass Effect Andromeda, rip in peace. Injustice 2.
That surprised me.
Really?
A little bit.
No, okay. So the thing about Injustice 2, and it especially rang true when they just announced over the weekend, Raiden is coming, but as a premium skin to Raiden, Black Lightning, who is going to have his series coming out on the CW this year, which made me realize Injustice 2 didn't really skew towards the movies. It did like, a little bit. There was a Wonder Woman event that's cool, but you've got Flash, Captain Cold, Green Arrow, Black Canary. They're gearing towards the CW market.
I hate Captain Cold
had a
so
big
much.
push in the game. I mean,
I hate Captain Cold so much. After beating that game, I still hate him. When he would show up with a gun, I'm like, you're still stupid. I did like that game a lot more.
Captain Cold.
I genuinely, though, you guys, I think even undersold how cool that campaign was. I legit had a great time with the story mode in a game. It was in a fighting game. It was a lot of fun.
And as excited as I am for all of the characters that are coming, I hope that there's some sort of a story expansion.
I'd be interested too.
They released 9 more characters. How do they fit in with this? Give us a couple more chapters.
I need to play with Sub-Zero.
Then after that, Horizon Zero Dawn. No surprises there.
I'm surprised. Like, I'm not surprised, but like again, that's on one platform, right? That is a PS4 exclusive, so that's impressive for an exclusive.
Yeah. Something that I'm a little surprised.
What's that?
For Honor?
I'm not.
I'm surprised that For Honor is that high.
I mentioned For Honor and Ghost Recon every week on the show. Like they don't die.
Biggest surprise.
They don't die.
That was the biggest surprise.
Huge communities.
So 5 Horizon, 4 For Honor, 3 Grand Theft Auto 5, 2 Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Not
at all.
It sold arguably more than the Switch has. Well, actually no, more than the Switch has because of the Wii U version. Because I forgot about the Wii U version.
Its attach rate was like 1.06. I was like, what?
People picked up Breath of the Wild without having a Switch yet.
See, now,
I mean, there are people who are sitting with copies of it who do not
I'm not
have a
saying
Switch.
that I came to the studio from a GameStop where I put a pre-owned copy of Breath of the Wild for the Switch on hold.
Okay.
But that's exactly what happened. But the most surprising thing to me on this list, top 10, number one of the 2017 most sold games in the United States. Goddamn Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands.
I say it every week. I know.
What the shit? I'm blaming you, Patrick.
Month. I know. But I look at this list every month because it fascinates me, right? Like, and not me. Like, that is a squad-based game. You're gonna play with 4 of your friends. I don't think it survives. I think Destiny will overtake it, and I guarantee Battlefront will. I'm interested to see where Call of Duty slots this year. So I think those are the front runners that will be in that number 1 spot when the dust settles. I don't know, but Ghost Recon just launched a PvP demo.
So now here's something that I will say that proves you correct is for it being my birthday month, GameStop sends me a 20% pre-owned cart, and I went, you know what? I'm going to get Ghost Recon Wildlands, and I'm going to play with my friend Patrick, because I had a good time playing. And then I went, fuck that, he's going to be playing Destiny 2 for the rest of the year. How much, because I know you've been playing a lot of Destiny, how much Ghost Recon have you been playing? Because you're playing Destiny with the same team that you were playing Ghost Recon with, am I right?
A couple, but like I also really genuinely like Ghost Recon Solo.
Okay.
And I think it's actually more so than even Destiny, that represents 2 different games. Destiny feels similar when you're playing solo versus when you're playing with a fire team. I think it's better. It's enhanced with a fire team, but it feels similar. Ghost Recon's orders of magnitude different. Like when you're playing with the AI guys, you give them commands and you execute this flawless thing. When you and I and Stacey are together, you just play yakety sax under the whole thing. And it's still really fucking fun. It's so fun.
Part of the reason why I want to get it.
But it always turns to shit.
We gotta play as a fire team.
You have to, and just to understand that things are not going to go smoothly. Once in a while, part of my fire team in that game, when I do play multiplayer in Ghost Recon, loses his goddamn mind, Rich. I'm looking right at you. Loses his mind when we're supposed to go in silent, and like I just run in with a shotgun. It's Leroy Jenkins, that shit. But that's what's fun about it. So anyway, that game feels like 2 different games, and I like them both independent of each other. So.
You know what it was? It was probably the short film that came out. That came exclusively. which we reviewed on the show just a few months ago. So make sure you go check that out, because that was an experience.
But and I'll say this last thing I'm going to say about it. It has the thing that like Destiny has about like dressing up the doll. I love the customization options in that fucking game. Right now, I got these huge aviator glasses and this like black cowboy hat, and
Ghillie
I'm like, yeah, Ghost Recon.
You got ghillie suit?
No. I mean, it's available. I don't use it. I rock the death bandana and a huge Texan hat, and I just go in. Yeah, it's really... They see me, death is coming round the corner. It's a problem.
It's my shotgun. I need my shotgun.
Yes. Yes,
Come
sir.
around this corner. I'm actually, now that you've turned me on to these numbers, I'm very excited to see what the next 3 months is going to hold.
Totally, right? Because I think Battlefront's going to do huge numbers. Huge.
And I wonder how much of a boost Destiny's going to get when it comes out on PC. Because people were like, oh, it's not selling that great. Like, people were worried that Destiny wasn't doing that well sale-wise, but they didn't have, like, proper numbers on digital. It was just numbers coming out of one country. But then when they reported 1.2, 1.3 million concurrent users... And not counting PC.
I know.
That's a lot of people.
Well, and I'm not surprised, but like also Destiny also is a live services game. So like I'm not surprised that like the physical copies are down, because like every one of those people legit to play the game, you're connected, right? So every one of those people is downloading it, and I think that's one of the games that you come back to over several years, so you want it like on hand. I'm not gonna buy that physical ever.
That's the only
downloaded the night before.
Right, totally.
I mean, you're ready to go.
Right.
Yeah, and that's one of the few games where I go, no, I'm getting that digital.
And it's staying on my hard drive, like
on my hard
no
drive.
matter what, right? Like there's just the slots that are just reserved. So
The only reason I got a physical version of Destiny was the Taken King edition, so that I could get the Strange Coin and the little version of Treasure Island that it comes with. It's got a whole bunch of like hunter notes in it.
I've never seen this. I would like you to
I'll
bring
it
this in.
Yeah,
Yeah,
bring it in.
All right.
It's a lot of fun. It's real cool. Oh boy. But if you want to hear more about us talking about Destiny, because hell, who doesn't? Nate, that's why he's not here. You can join us on Wednesday. If you're watching this live, Wednesday we are going to be doing a show only about Destiny. We're going to be talking about lore.
That's right.
We're going to be talking about story. We're going to be talking about the implications. I don't think any of us have run the raid.
No.
I'm gonna try, even though I'm at the lowest light level, and see how far I get, which won't be very far.
Have you nightfalled yet?
I have not nightfalled yet, and I'm really mad because it loops tonight, and next week's is gonna be shit. It's my least favorite strike.
Which is it?
It's the one where it's the invisible fallen guy.
Oh.
With all of the shock.
Yep.
Yeah. Steve in the booth and I ran that today, and it was so difficult just by itself.
So are they doing the timer mechanic again?
I don't know.
Can we talk about the timer?
I hate the timer.
Oh, I'm glad. I think there's the shittiest way to generate tension. And also, when
They
you
give
have
you
a
a
fire
ti- they
team
give you
that's
a
really
time
fucking
limit.
impatient.
From one of the quests you can do.
They
Okay.
up the difficulty. They make certain types of ammo more effective, and then it's like, oh, but if you finish it, especially one of the exotic quests, you have to finish it with 5 minutes left on the clock.
The rat
King.
Yes.
That,
You don't go to bed for enough.
I read about that guy. I was like, I'm gonna play this game
Yeah,
just
yeah,
to get
yeah.
that.
I'm
I'm
gonna be
gonna jump
ready.
through those hoops and I'm gonna hate myself, but I'm gonna do it.
So let's touch on that, right? So you very literally, you get time for killing people and very literally for jumping through hoops. Fuck
Yeah.
you, game. Like, no.
It's like Superman 64.
I just, no. It's a shitty way to ratchet tension. I don't like it. And also,
hope they
I
get
have
rid
some
of it.
very, again, looking right at you, Rich Dees. Fuck off. Like, the minute, like, we fail or wipe, right? Like, when we're learning it, he's like, I'm not doing this again. Fuck this game and its fucking timer, and just rage quits and he's out.
Dude.
I'm like, I'm never going to beat this
At
Nightfall.
least, dude, the Inverted Spire, at least, there's enough practice because it was the beta one as well.
Yes.
But with the one that's coming next
skipped it.
week, God, it sucks. It
I just
sucks.
hope they remove the timer. That is not fun. That is not. I don't know. Very few games ever where they put you on a timer. You go, this is great.
This is what it needed.
Really
You don't
fun.
like being on a countdown.
This is like encumbrance. It's right up there. Like, yes, I just needed a limit to my inventory.
I ran out of time.
I'm over
Shit.
Yeah.
You know.
I think it's shitty.
Inventory
I know.
full.
I know.
Okay, so
through
let's,
the wilds of
for
fire.
old time's sake,
Old time's sake.
Oh,
let's
boy.
talk about some game movie news.
amazing.
Do we have-
Yes, we
No,
do.
we don't.
Yes, we do, because this poster
That's
is
why we
really...
did
Okay,
this.
check out
No,
how fucked up Alicia Vikander's
it's
neck
so-
is.
Fucked.
Why? What
She
happened?
looks like a goddamn
They tried
giraffe.
to... Well, they tried to make it like the game cover.
No.
Which is shitty.
But-
But the fact that she's holding the pickaxe tool, as if we...
Focus on her neck. She's eating the grass off like the top branches. She's a giraffe. It's terrifying.
I don't understand why they did that to
Me
her.
neither.
I don't understand.
But like
Unnecessary
that's not
Photoshop.
natural, is my point,
No,
right?
it is not.
I
It is
spent
absolutely
I
not.
spent all day in the mirror doing this, trying to practice. No, I didn't.
I don't
But
even,
like,
I don't even know if you can
You can't.
get your neck
Not a
to
fucking
it. It
chance.
doesn't, it
No,
doesn't work
not a
that
chance.
way.
Not a
No.
chance.
Now-
the human body
it's
does not work that
terrifying.
way.
I can't take my eyes off her neck. The problem.
Well, that's Alicia Vikander just in general.
A huge fan. Like she's an
glad that
incredibly
silenced
talented
you.
actress. No, like loved
Wasn't
her
she-
in Ex Machina.
Was she the woman in Kingsman? Or am I thinking incorrectly?
Oh, maybe
with
she.
the leg with the sawed off leg.
Oh, I bet she was.
I think that was her one of her first like.
she was the robot in Ex Machina.
Yeah, of course.
And she destroyed. I'm a huge fan from.
and
that,
then she was in that the spy movie Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Missed it.
That was Henry Cavill and Armie Hammer.
I know. What a great pairing. I
Seriously,
missed it. Was it
all
good?
about it. Well, that I don't know. I didn't see it. So,
That was great.
but so we're gonna be getting a trailer tomorrow. But they posted this Twitter teaser for the trailer.
Dude, did they really cut her face off? They really just did a chest
Face
shot.
off. Well, I mean, it's on Twitter, so it's supposed to loop.
I know that.
So this is just the starting
Okay,
thing.
okay.
So let's go ahead and it's 15 seconds, so it'll be quick.
Oh, I didn't know. I just.
Yeah.
Okay.
Her legend begins. Now,
Oh man.
if they don't have a bunch of failed like deaths.
She just eats shit on that like rebar early on.
So like the fact that she fell off that log is like,
Yep.
okay, they're gonna allude to, oh, that's the way to go. She fucked up, and
Yep.
and those like quick time events. That's kind of cool, but they're not gonna have her like impaled. Now from those,
She walked
True
away from it.
experience.
so
She walked
everybody
away from
went,
it.
hey, Alicia Vikander, cool. Now seeing the poster, seeing the teaser, we're gonna get the full trailer tomorrow. But off of those two, what do you think?
I think that looks terrible. That looks so bad.
Yeah?
I don't know, man. Like that was like. Again, I know I really jumped to conclusions.
Okay,
with the
so
freeze frame.
that's like the
but
alpha. That's like the alpha of what we're gonna be seeing.
I mean, okay, I will reserve judgment until we see the actual trailer. But like, that poster is not promising, and that commercial was super generic.
Yeah,
And
the coloring of the poster
it's
is
bad.
so bizarre.
It's weird.
It's very odd.
That looks like one of the shitty like posters you would see from some small country in Europe. Like,
Right, where
like
like
one of the weird porn
translated,
posters.
it's like Raider of Graves, and you're like, wait, what? Like,
it's like the
not-
color palette's all weird, and it doesn't look like Lara Croft.
no, and it does like I don't think it communicates anything about like what's interesting about that.
Why is she in the
story.
water? She's
I
not in a tomb.
Don't know. I don't know. I had really high hopes, and like again, yeah, they were saying the right things, right? Like when they were talking about using that first game as a blueprint for this story, like, and that, you know, for better or for worse, I don't care how you feel about the game, but like it was kind of an interesting story about her relationship with the father and whatever. It was a good look at Lara Croft. Like I thought it was a good look, and this looks not that.
We have somebody in the chat, the Twitch chat. What up? Saying
What up?
9.5.
9.5.
9.5.
Excellent. Who's
Shout
that on
out-
the Twitch?
That is Robbie.
Oh, hey, Robbie. 9.5.
9.5.
Really,
9.5.
Robbie?
But
right.
this does the poster at least doesn't look indicative, and that teaser, it's just supposed to be a teaser. It's supposed to get the people that didn't play the game, the
Yeah.
people who aren't into the Tomb Raider world, interested. Let's see how the trailer looks. Again, all of this stuff, all of the marketing, and we're just gonna prepare for the storm. That is, all of the marketing is not going to be for us because we are already in this community. We're gonna be like, yeah, we're gonna see Tomb Raider. We're gonna
Right.
support the medium, the secondary form of this medium, so that we get more of it. So we're gonna go because you just gotta blindly support sometimes.
No,
but
I certainly do not.
Hey,
That
okay,
is not
let me tell you.
part of the
People we
contract
get.
I signed
We
for
still
this
gotta
show.
see what we got.
all right, so check this. Let me pull this one over here.
Okay.
We as a team building exercise in theaters opening weekend 3D. We saw Resident Evil: The Final Chapter.
We did. I still,
We need
I
a-
still regret that.
This
day.
is a
We
break.
did.
This is a break
Right.
from that shit. Okay?
We hope.
No.
We
What
are
if?
going to be optimistic.
What if this is worse than that?
Please don't say
Don't.
that.
This is
Why?
not gonna
Why
be
would
I
you
know
even-
that's
why would you
difficult.
even put
I
that
know
thought
that's
in my
difficult.
head?
I don't know. I don't have very high
I
hopes
don't know
for
if I
this.
could handle that.
I mean, because like again, this is a really easy opportunity for people to latch onto an IP and just hope that there's suckers like us who are like, please be good, please be good.
At the same time, we watched the original Tomb Raider movies on the old incarnation of this podcast, Video Game Movie Anatomy.
Star power.
They did,
Yep.
but they also were really cheesy and schmaltzy. But there were the couple of action moment, action moment, action moment, and this doesn't need to be much. But there will be moments that will make the gamers go, awesome, I remember doing that. And there's going to be moments where the general public's going to be like, wow, that's a real cool, badass chick. And we're probably going to get at least one more Tomb Raider like we did with the Angelina Jolie franchise.
Mm-hmm. Look, I will say I'm glad that she looks the way she looks. Like, it's a cool aesthetic, the way that they characterize her as athletic and not just like over-sexualized the entire time. So I really like that they cribbed kind of the look of Lara Croft from those games. So I don't know. I'm going to continue to remain optimistic. I'll watch the trailer. How's that?
And Star Drew corrected me. Sophia Patella was the henchwoman in Secret Service in Kingsman.
Okay.
Thank you for the correction.
Yeah, thank you.
But yeah, so this is gonna happen, and we're gonna see it just cause. But I would like to take this opportunity, if you're checking out this podcast for the first time, make sure to head to iTunes and on YouTube. The show used to be called Video Game Movie Anatomy, and we used to talk about video game movies. We saw a lot of shit. We saw some good ones, very few, but it was a good time, and we highly encourage that you go back and check out some of those episodes, because we had a lot of fun doing them, and a lot of those franchises are coming back up, and whether they're as films or as games, but yeah.
I know, weird flashbacks.
Here we go.
I know, it's weird PTSD. We're just
We haven't had to think about it in so long.
Well, also, Screw Attack just put out a list of the 10 best video game movie adaptations.
Are they the
Mortal Kombat?
best?
Mortal Kombat was up there. It wasn't number one.
What was one?
I forgot what number one was, but I was like, fuck you,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
number
yeah.
one.
I don't think
I was
so.
like, they needed to talk to some experts.
Right.
Some people who made it their life's
Put in their time.
goal to
Put
do.
in the time.
Fucking Screw Attack.
Yeah, right.
But actually, I think it was the first Tomb Raider.
No. You can make a case for that. It's better than the second one. It's better than the second one.
Oh, no. It was
saying much.
I know. I agree. Low bar.
No, number one was the Professor Layton film, which haven't seen. But they also put Silent Hill as number 2.
You can make a case for that.
I mean,
we didn't hate that.
It
we
was
came
cool.
We came in there, and
Yeah.
what we said was that had a vision, and it executed against what it wanted to do, which was higher praise than we gave almost anything
fair.
else. So you can make a case for that shit.
Yeah, it didn't suck.
It didn't.
completely
It sucked
suck.
less than the rest of the list. Yeah.
But yeah, go if you're a fan of the show, go to Screw Attack and let them know that we got a couple of video game experts that might want to revise their list a little bit.
We can help.
Yeah, we can do some help. All right. One of the last things we want to talk about this week, Patrick, you brought up, and it's something that's kind of poignant, and we have a little bit of time to talk about it. Bruce Straley.
Yeah.
Leaving Naughty Dog.
He did.
That's the co-direct, one of the infamous directors of Last of Us, Uncharted 2, and Uncharted 3.
Yep.
Got his start on Crash Team Racing.
True story.
They're in the middle of Last of Us 2.
Which he technically wasn't too involved with, right? He took
Was he just a producer role?
No. Originally I think he was slotted to be kind of co-director along with
The other co-director?
yes,
That's
God,
fine.
Neil Druckmann.
Neil Druckmann.
So, but he took a year sabbatical, and a lot of times when people take a sabbatical, especially at the beginning of a project, it's because they're trying to get their head right, and maybe we'll never come back from it, right? So this was him coming back from that year long. So he hadn't been that involved anyway, and I think he had just. Look, I mean, his statement too was incredible, talking about like he's a dog for life, which I kind of love, right? Like,
Yeah, this has been the hardest decision of my career, and he has no current announcement about what his next steps are. But he did say that he intends to continue the journey into the creative process. From day one, I knew I was surrounded with some of the most talented, driven, and passionate people in the industry. They were pushing themselves to do things beyond what they even thought was possible, which in turn pushed me, and I loved it.
Like, and it's a real, that studio is something magic. What they produce is unparalleled in the industry, but it's also a studio filled with like egoless overachievers. Everybody there, like, again, they consistently, when you go to Bruce, and he immediately talks about Neil, and Neil talks about Bruce, and also I'm sorry, she just left to do the Star Wars.
Amy Hennig.
And he immediately goes to Hennig. Like, everybody there, it's this culture of overachieving and putting these games before life and family. And I think, man, he's been at it 18 years. Seeing that kind of crunch takes a toll, right? Like, I can't imagine, and especially like when you're revisiting an IP, I don't know how you guys feel about this, but like the first Last of Us, I mean, it must have taken a lot out of them. And I know that they said,
especially with games that are so dire, and that game is so
bleak,
dire.
totally.
And having to put yourself in that space in order to see whether it makes sense or not.
Totally. And then crunching, again, giving up time with family and friends and potentially health. Like that game, and they are notorious crunchers. And like it shows in the product, right? That is level of polish that just isn't seen in games. But all that being said, like I wish him luck. Like it bums me out that he's gone. I think he's obviously a tremendous talent, but
and despite I mean, there's obviously going to be the good nature discussion from both sides. It's not. I don't think it's too far gone to discuss Amy Hennig leaving as well.
Yeah.
This is the second major creative from Naughty Dog to leave in only the course of a couple of projects. And I wonder if it's as you said, they're notorious crunchers.
Yeah.
But now having some of the most landmark franchises in gaming.
Yep.
What sort of studio pressure is being put on Naughty Dog? Because we're seeing it also with Star Wars in the film industry, where recently it's the fourth time a director on a Star Wars project has been replaced.
Yeah.
So with something like this, I wonder if it's just a mixture of, oh, my creative juices aren't flowing anymore, versus studio expectation versus, hey, we need another blockbuster franchise now that Uncharted seems to be going the direction that it's going, of side stories and maybe not big super games anymore. And how much bleakness can you get out of Last of Us?
Look, but I think it's all of that, and I think it's even more. It's exacerbated by the fact that like it's all of those things, right? Like it's studio pressure internally, but also they're first party, right? They're wholly owned by Sony, so they very literally create system sellers. So it's bigger than their individual title selling, right?
Sure.
Like they have like a whole platform, an ecosystem that rests on how these games hit and how well they're critically received. And so like on top of everything else, right? Like if your game isn't like Lost Legacy, like I think third on MPDs, or where that finished this month, third. I think its Metacritic is like an 84, which is like the lowest Naughty Dog game. And not because it's unpolished, people kept docking it saying like, yo, dog, like it's just more Uncharted, but like I'm sorry, more of the most unpolished experience in gaming.
How is that a bad thing?
Totally, it's incredible.
These are probably the same people who are like, Doom on the Switch, I love it. It's not even changing anything, and I acknowledge that, but I'm fucking into it.
And again, but like I can't imagine the type of pressure you've been under, and for the better part of 19 years. Seriously. I mean, and not just Crash, but like especially when they get into Uncharted 2 and 3, and also Last of Us. And to your point, like I think it's bleak as shit. Like it's at some point you just want to move on. And Last of Us, last thing I'll say, was very much Neil's baby. Like he was listed as Straley was co-producer, co-director, or whatever. But like this was Neil's. He wrote the lion's share of it. Like he directed a lot of it. Like on all of the documentary, like all the making of, you saw it, right? Like it was almost all Druckmann in there with.
Go back and watch the episode to find out.
With directing folks, and so I don't know. I wish him luck. I think it's a bummer.
100%. Like nobody,
super
like
talented dude
on any level, losing work at a game studio or anywhere for that matter. You never want the worst for people unless they're literally Hitler. So actually no, there's a couple of other people that could fit in there. But regardless, Bruce is an amazing, talented producer, and whatever time he needs to take, I hope he takes that time. Mm-hmm. And where do you want to see him pop up? What sort of stuff do you think he could help with?
Stacey?
No, I mean, I just
something happy.
It's something that he feels really passionately about, something that he's ready to, maybe something completely new that.
I want him to make indie games. I want him to start a studio. I want it to be 8 people, and I want him to be able to churn out games every year to 2 years, right? Like I think working on a game where your dev cycle's 5 years, it's got to be maddening. Having 2 products ship in 10 years is shoot yourself in the face type stuff. But like, imagine being able to work on a much smaller budget, a smaller team, be able to execute quickly. How refreshing could that be? So anyway, that's where I'd like to see him and see what he can bring to some smaller titles.
Yeah, when the announcement of Amy Hennig coming to a Star Wars project was released, you're like, holy, what?
Yep.
Ah!
Yes.
So I want him to pop up somewhere where he's least expected, somewhere where he can be happy.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah. and something that'll
want
get us
him in
that
a
similar
smaller
moment of like let's do it. Let's get him on Gwent. Let's get him on the Witcher 3.
I was
mobile
gonna go
code.
Spec Ops: The Line 2. Or
Oh,
something.
okay,
Yeah. Something else was really fucked up.
You know what? Like Gwent.
Sure.
All right.
God, Gwent gets dark.
Once you reach like level
Yeah,
15,
I know. Crazy. I won't spoil it. It's fucked. Yeah.
Shao Kahn shows up. All right, let's talk about some of the games that are coming out this week. Some of this, just stop me if you want to talk about any of these. 'Cause
okay.
There's a couple
All right.
that I want to stop on. Echo, coming out on the PS4 and PC. Hidden Dragon Legend.
The dolphin?
Not the Dolphin.
God damn it.
Echo is
Nope.
ECCO.
Is that what you wanted
Oh,
to
okay. Yeah. No. Mark Echo, get up.
That is
Also be-
EKKO.
Just
Or
I don't
no,
know.
that's
I'm
sorry,
not. You're reading the paper.
ECKO.
Okay. Yeah.
Get your Echo straight.
God damn it.
Hidden Dragon Legend coming out for the
Great title.
one that I'm real sad about all of the reviews that are coming out. Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. People
Yep.
are saying doesn't need a story mode. The art style
it's
sucks,
not a-
but man, the game is fun. So,
Okay.
oh boy, excited to get that when it's discounted. NBA 2K18.
Yep.
SteamWorld Dig 2. Now, I really like SteamWorld Dig. I got
you?
it from a PS Plus
Oh, nice.
month,
Okay.
and I was like, oh, this is fun. It's
Alright.
it's like a not top down isometric, but you get this whole mine that you get to dig from. You get upgrades, and it's a robot like yeah, it's cool. Thimbleweed Park. Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 is coming out for the Switch, which was a fun game.
Thimbleweed Park is coming out on what?
The Switch.
The Switch. Why, yes. That's
Are
a
you familiar
perfect
with Thimbleweed Park?
Ron Gilbert joint? But like, I'm really interested because I skipped. So that's a game I would play on the Switch.
Yeah.
Like, I like. Don't get me wrong, Doom. That sounds badass. But like, the idea of picking up like a little to go, like a point-and-click adventure on the go. That sounds great. That sounds like a perfect flight game.
Sure.
Whereas I don't want to play Thimbleweed Park. To your point, on that 100-inch like 4K. Like fucking no.
you don't
like
need that super,
no, I
like,
don't.
in your
I can
face?
play that on like on the plane.
Play-
And I
what is
won't,
it
I won't
play plane?
disturb children sitting next to me like I would.
I
with
will
Doom.
with Doom.
I
Gil-
true
no
story.
regrets
Do you remember
about that.
season 1 of the Walking Dead?
well, what part?
Do you
Just
remember
the
when
entirety
they
of
were
it?
ripping apart the
whole thing.
horse?
Oh,
Do you remember?
you
this?
weren't watching that on the plane.
I
were
literally
you?
watched that on a plane, and this child next to me was leaning over, and like I'm like, oh come on! I was doing this like one of these numbers, like just like, and I'm sure mom thought porn was on or something. I'm like, just stop looking at my
It's like,
iPad.
That's where I would break the oath of just not talking to anybody around you, because that's what I do. And just be like, hey, I'm watching The Walking Dead. Your child, you should probably switch seats with your child.
Probably don't let your
I
kid
used to
watch
be.
this.
I used to be the
That's
guy that would
parenting.
be best friends with everybody on planes, and that shifted. when
Yeah.
I
It'll-
got asked
it'll
to
shift even more when I get a Switch.
Seats.
Oh, you poor dear. Guild Wars 2 Path of Fire coming out for the PC. The Lego Ninjago movie game coming out for everything. Pokemon Gold and Silver is going to be coming out September 22nd. Pokken Tournament Deluxe coming out for the Switch on September 22nd. Project Cars 2, Project Cars 1, pretty fun.
Okay.
Cool. And Raiders of the Broken Planet, Curious, that's coming out for a lot of things. If you're interested in any of those games that are coming out, let us know. We want to know what you're excited about because we want to talk about it.
Are you picking any of these up? Or you?
Well,
what are you
right
doing
now
this week?
I am locked in. I'm locked into Destiny 2.
Yeah,
I
you
want
are.
to. Once I get done with the raid,
Yep.
I'll be like, okay, I'll step back for a little bit.
Yep.
But that's also probably going to be like, hey, that expansion's coming in 2 weeks.
Digging the adventures, man. I'm trying to clear the map.
I am too,
trying to clear
especially
the map.
because
They're fun.
the adventure. We'll talk about this on Wednesday, which is our Destiny 2 story special, 7 p.m. Make sure to join us on Twitch and YouTube for that, because the raid came as a quote as a result of one of those adventures. So you don't know which of those adventures is a thread to the next story thing that's going to be happening, which is really
I
cool.
think they're super cool.
And we're going to talk more about that on Wednesday.
Yes.
So what's everybody going to be playing this week before we go? Stacey.
Well, Junkertown drops tomorrow, so
Crap.
I'll be on that probably
Okay.
for a while. I've been playing a little bit of Life is Strange.
Oh yeah.
Have you really?
Yeah, I
The
have.
prequel or the original?
The original.
Nice.
I'm not sure if I'm gonna continue.
I've heard it ends very well.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna push the. I don't know. Like 5 years ago, I'd probably be all about this,
Yeah.
but like where I am now, it's a little less like, oh yeah, this is the kind
Sure.
of feelings I'm identifying with.
Too many
So,
Hellas.
There's
Lot of Hellas.
there have been a couple of lines where I'm just like, intense flashbacks of 5 years. And I'm like, oh no, honey, no, don't say that. You're gonna regret that a lot.
And there's a few giving like I've heard people say I had a buddy of mine played it and he said like it was just like hello fellow teens, like you're like that was like an old white dude writing a line for a teenager and you're like you didn't
consistently.
I've
It's
heard
like
that.
did you just look on the internet and pull the first thing from Twitter that you saw?
They went
and
into
make
Google
that a
Translate
thing?
and went English to tween.
Yes,
No,
for
there's-
sure.
And it was
there's been
really
a couple
shitty
of
and robotic.
those, and I'm not sure I can handle it.
Fair enough.
For extended
Alright.
periods of time.
All right.
So,
Okay, how about
short
you,
little
Pat?
bursts.
I am playing, so my multiplayer time will also be taken up with Destiny 2 for sure. The other thing I'm playing is Dishonored 2 Death of the Outsider. I picked that up last week, which is a $40 expansion. It's a standalone to Dishonored 2. Probably the last Dishonored we're going to get for some time.
Okay.
Dishonored 2 did not sell well, which is a bummer because it would have been my game of the year if it weren't for The Last Guardian last year. It's phenomenal. I'm 2 hours in, and I just delight in that universe. I think it is it's fantastic, and it's interesting too. Like I don't know if you have any interest in Dishonored. This is a cool place to pick it up because it streamlines the whole experience.
Okay.
Gives you 3 powers. There's none of this like you upgrade the way you want. It gives you 3. It gives you 3 things to take on, and then you figure out the levels, which are some of the best in the business, the way you want. So I'm on the 3rd level.
Okay.
I play those games exhaustively, but yeah.
I've been playing Destiny 2 exhaustively. I'll just predict for Nate on Twitter at DogLikeNate. He's probably going to be playing a lot of PUBG.
Yep.
So if you want to talk all things Destiny, make sure to come back Wednesday at 7 p.m. because that's where we're going to be. This is our Twitch debut. This was a lot of fun.
Hey, Twitch, this was great.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us on
Yep.
Twitch. You're definitely going to be seeing more from us on Twitch. We stream pretty regularly, not just the talk show, but also I've been doing a lot of Destiny streams. There's going to be more coming, so make sure to leave us that follow. Stay tuned. There's going to be a lot more gaming content coming from this Twitch channel. And make sure to follow at the Popcorn Talk on YouTube and on Twitter. But where can everybody follow y'all on Twitter and YouTube and Twitch?
You can find me at Stacey Shuttles on Twitch, Instagram, Twitter. I'm on all of those places playing games and complaining about games. or screaming about how much I love them. It's awesome.
Naturally. Patrick.
Patrick Dees. You can find me at Peter the Dees on Twitter. Please do tweet at me. And you can find me on the console of your choice at Truly Slide.
And I'm Mark Donica. You can find me on Twitter at Mark Donica. Find me on Twitch, mostly on this channel, on Inventory Full PT, but if it's going to be something like Dream Daddy, I'll probably do it on mine, which is Soapbox Mark. So thank you so much for finding us here and watching us. We will see you on Wednesday for our Destiny special.
Bye.
Thanks for watching.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Popcorn Talk Network or its owners or principals.